I was going to start this video off how I've done many others in the past with a mashup of super hype moments, show off some of the fun you can have in this game, and then go straight into my review. But I think I've seen many of the videos that are covering this game on YouTube doing the exact same thing. I feel like a lot of people are hyping this game up, and even a week or two ago I published my own early access video which showed how chaotic firefights can get in close quarters. The hype for 6 Days in Fallujah is real, and I get why. The game has been in development for over a decade, and it's really incredibly fun and immersive to play. I don't think anyone who's making videos is going to disagree with that, but I want to be straight with you guys and say that, well, right now, it might actually not be the best time to purchase the game for you, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to show you the good, what I think is not so good, and then hopefully by the end of this video, you can decide for yourself if you should purchase 6 Days in Fallujah in early access. Now, although you will be able to eventually play this on Xbox and PlayStation sometime in 2024, for at least the next year or so, PC players will be the only ones able to play 6 Days in Fallujah. And if I'm being honest, what is in the game right now is absolutely awesome. There are 4 separate missions where you can either run solo or in a 4-person party. And if you don't have friends to play with, there's also a matchmaking option. When in the party, the leader assigns kits, which range from M16s with ACOGs, an underbarrel grenade launcher, a breaching shotgun, and even an M249 saw light machine gun. Once you've picked your kits, you load into a random mission with procedurally generated buildings and off you go. There's a convoy ambush, a search and destroy mission, a rescue mission, and a wave defense type last stand mission. And all of these are incredibly immersive and incredibly fun. The most unique part about 6 Days in Fallujah is that every time you do load in, you are going to get something completely different. Yeah, we might be in a convoy mission each time, but the whole block that you're actually fighting on changes quite dramatically. You have different types of building layouts, different enemies with varying types of weapons, mortar teams can get set up, and there are even VBIEDs. No! 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 If you don't move quickly, AI will try to reposition around you and take advantage of your poor positioning. Now, if you've watched me for a while, you know that I really dislike PvE or AI shooters. Games like Arma 3 or Ready or Not actually get very boring for me since the enemy AI are, well, stupid. Or crazy one-shot sniper cheaters. There really doesn't seem to be any in-between in most games with PvE AI, but 6 Days in Fallujah just feels different. Yes, there are going to be times when the AI is just stupid and standing around, but I would say that the vast majority of firefights are really fun, they're really engaging, and to be quite honest, they actually get kind of scary. You get caught off guard by flanks, the enemy pop back up where you thought you had just cleared, and you can never be too sure where is safe, which makes for the entire mission that much more intense. Playing this with 3 other people to round out a full fire team is a must, and anything less than 4 players is extremely punishing, which makes it that much more rewarding when you do finally finish a mission. Although we did get more comfortable the more we played the game, I never really felt as if each mission was going to be a cakewalk, and that's what helped make it extremely replayable. There was always that thrill of who might go down, or what might be in this next building, and who should take point, and it's incredibly easy to finish one mission and just load straight into the next one with your buddies laughing and having a great time.
I'm down.
Roger.
I'm dead.
God damn it.
Oh! Dude, you caught that whatever size mortar it was to the mouth.
I will say that the gunplay and character movement does not feel as fluid as something like a Call of Duty, and I don't mean that in terms of it being arcadey. Your character does feel like he moves with a purpose, it feels weighted, it feels like you have a full kit of gear on, but at times it feels as if you can't control your weapon as well as you should. The M16 recoil can feel harder to handle than a saw, which just seems weird, and there are a lot of default options that just make me scratch my head as an FPS player. The button Y, which is a very hard to reach key on your keyboard if you have normal hand placement, is your fire select option, but when pressing it, there's no actual audible confirmation that you've swapped, and instead you need to pay attention to 1 or 3 dots in the center of your screen to indicate if you're on semi or burst fire. And as you move around the map, your weapon sights will always have to be reset each time you try to ADS, meaning that if you have just swapped to using your ACOG, when you lower your weapon and then ADS your weapon back up, you will only see your iron sights, and then you have to actually scroll up on the mouse wheel once again to get back into the ACOG. It's not too intuitive, and if I'm lowering my sights from just seeing ACOG, I would like to be able to right click and immediately see that same sight picture again. It's not game breaking or anything, but just this fumbling with sights is just really annoying as I'm trying to just look around the map. Now, I understand that 6 Days wants to be a tactical and slower paced shooter, but I do think a nice quality of life pass to implement some more typical FPS controls would be very much appreciated. However, I wouldn't necessarily say that these issues took away from my enjoyment of the game. After a bit of fumbling, you just kind of get into a good groove, and the audio of this game throws you right into the streets of Fallujah. Internal and directional audio is one of the best I've heard in any game, and the sound combined with the gritty visuals and challenging AI enemies truly get you immersed into each mission. All right, we need to run right into the building. Calm down, Marine! Oh, Jesus! Hello? I found myself frequently ducking or jumping in my own chair due to what was playing out in front of me, and many times I would just stop and think to myself, how in the world did anyone do this stuff for real? The fact that this game made me think about that is a testament to how good it actually felt to play. Now, there are a few issues that I do think need addressing. The devs have already put out a day 1 patch which allowed users to customize their field of view and remove head bobbing, which was causing some people to feel nauseous. To me, that shows the devs are more than willing to start knocking out bugs and are listening to feedback. But in order to improve replayability and facilitate multiplayer games, I do think we need a complete overhaul on the Fireteam mission system. When creating a party, you have no way to select a mission, which feels like a huge oversight. Instead, you just randomly get sent into one of the 4 scenarios and hope it's the one you want to play. Party leaders should definitely be able to set certain missions, and I would love to see it taken one step further since this is all procedurally generated. In games like Civilization, where the world is unique on each load, there are actual ways to save what is called a seed, which is essentially a string of numbers unique to the current world you're playing on. Fun seeds are shared with the community, and players can load up other people's seeds to try and beat the game themselves in really unique ways, and I think this is something that 6 Days should really somehow implement. At the end of the day, 4 missions is actually not a lot of content, but I will stand by the opinion that every time I did play a mission, it has felt very different from the last one because of the procedural generation. Taking these seeds and then going over to Discord, other forums, hell even YouTube videos, and then seeing cool playthroughs and trying out the seeds would greatly increase community engagement and replayability. Another issue with the current party system is that voice is on by default. I believe this is a conscious design decision due to the fact that holding spacebar will use your radio while just regular voice is broadcast locally all the time, and that does make for some really unique moments where you have to decide if you want to speak to your entire fire team or simply those around you. Taking your hand off your rifle to yell on the radio can be a life or death decision depending on where you're at, but realistically, this is the internet, and people kind of suck. I've heard of players hearing background conversations for an entire mission, nonstop loud breathing, or just horrible music spam, and there needs to be a push to local voice option or a mute button to turn your local voice off completely. And something that may have just been an oversight is that you can actually talk when you're dead. For as immersive of a game as 6 Days is, it is weird that you can actually talk to your alive players after you go down. There should be a dead voice chat and a live voice chat, 2 different voice party rooms, and the only time you can talk to everyone normally should be in lobbies or loading screens. It is a bit of a bummer I can't just chat to my fellow dead buddies about what happened, since I feel like it's distracting those who are alive. And when you are alive, it is really disorientating at times to try to figure out who's near you and who isn't when you have a head full of chatter that feels like they are literally right next to you. Now, these are obviously a few minor issues, and although I think they should be addressed, I don't think that should prevent anyone from getting the game. Now, what might make or break your decision is the potentially limited content though. In my opinion, I think the 4 missions are very fun with friends, but I can see how that can get repetitive for some people, and unfortunately, we have a little bit of ways to go before we get anything new. The devs released an early access roadmap, and later this summer, we'll be able to get some nighttime missions and other variables, including different lighting and weather conditions, but we won't actually have a new mission to play with until almost 2024. AI teammates also won't be added until then as well, and if you really wanted to play 6 Days in Fallujah for the single player campaign, well, you're going to be waiting until next year. This is where I'm now having an issue because the price point of this game may just be a little too high for early access. $40 is on the high end of a game that really, when you boil it down, only has 4 missions. Yes, they're all procedurally generated, and yes, you can constantly swap out your kits and stuff, but that is really just 4 playable areas. There's no campaign, no other weapon customization, very basic progression with ranks, but I don't think that even really does anything. You're essentially just paying $40 because you like the direction the game is going, you've enjoyed it, and you want to support further development. If you're okay with all that, and you're okay with waiting for up to a year to play campaign, up to 6 months to play solo with AI, then of course $40 is worth it. But I know some of y'all probably are trying to get this game because you want to play single player, and this is just not the right time for that. In saying that, don't take this as a recommendation against purchasing the game because I think it's bad or something. I am floored that I am enjoying this game as much as I do because I really don't like shooters that are just against AI and just PvE stuff. But 6 Days in Fallujah and the way that they work around the map and the objectives and the way the AI actually tries to hunt you, it is extremely rewarding. Add in campaigns, other special missions, other nationalities, and I think we have a whole game that is definitely worth $40. But I'm more than okay supporting a dev studio that I think has a very clear and defined vision and are definitely on the right track. For me, that's worth it, but that might not be your situation, so do take that into consideration. But what do you guys think? Have you played this yourself and like it? Maybe you're waiting to see how the co-op AI missions go, or maybe you're just seeing if the game lives up to the single player campaign. Let me know in the comments down below, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. But that's it for me. Until next time, peace.